All right. So this is the third and final episode of Headspace, Vancouver Aftermath.
For some reason.
So I think a lot of last session was actually planning, like what your next move was going to be. You guys had previously broken into the 3H energy complex to pirate some power for the squatters and that were living on one of the sub-arcologies. And you had concocted a plan. You were going to try and infiltrate the research facility of 3H to try and get some dirt on them, which you could then use as barter with Trauma One, who are the people who have now taken over the main facility. So I think you split up. I think who was it? It was not the infiltrator that was doing the infiltrator mission. It was
Nike
and Somerset, and and then Watts and
Shade.
Watts and Shade had gone to the main arcology building to seek a parley with the Trauma One representatives there, which didn't go very well. And the two infiltrators had got a bit barely escaped being fumigated, and managed to get inside the complex and had identified a passageway that might lead to something interesting, but which was being patrolled by drones. I believe you sacrificed one of 3 drones to get this intel.
Yeah, had we found a doorway with which looked like it was pay dirt?
Yeah, it was in an area that was like off the communication where we couldn't take our drones with us.
Yeah, it's like an electronic dead spot.
Yeah.
So you discovered that about the same time the other 2 were having guns drawn on them because they had come to Trauma One with no leverage, and they were on Trauma One's most wanted list because of their previous actions of stealing power and filming Trauma One to make sure that they didn't try to subvert that because they'd look bad otherwise. So Trauma One are not the most happy with you, and your former colleague, forget her name, Veronica Coates. She was willing to cut a deal if you had something, but you haven't. You don't have a great poker face, so she was able to tell that you don't have anything right now. So that's the situation we're in at the moment, and yeah, so we'll come right back to that moment with Watts and Shade in the office with guns being drawn on them.
You're muted, Doug.
So there's 2 of them directly behind us, will be my understanding.
Directly behind them, and the guy that led you in here as well, plus Veronica herself, who hasn't actually drawn her weapon. She's just watching all of this with an apologetic look about her.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I will raise my right hand with my my grenade in it, flick the pin, and hold it very tightly in sight, so they can actually see that it is there.
It's actually a live grenade, or are you bluffing?
It's for harm, close, loud, and dangerous. Apparently, that sounds about right for a grenade to me.
Come on,
okay.
You've never struck me as the suicidal type.
Yeah, but if you were to shoot me, it would be very bad for the rest of you. So I suggest you let us just back out of here.
I kind of want to make that a roll, but at the same time,
we have no social skills. The entire group has no social skills.
Also, there's no reason she wouldn't actually, just because what happens even have that available as a headspace. Shit. Okay. Let's make it a roll, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, what sort of roll?
So make a coax roll.
Coax roll.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the only thing we don't have a stat for coax.
Anything but fear, I think.
Anything but fear. Rage.
It's if it's the highest current thing. So what's it's tied at the moment.
The highest.
Yeah, it's anything but fear.
Okay, I'll go with rage.
Anything but fear. I mean, if you have another idea for a skill that could help, actually, it's explosives.
It's explosives.
Yeah, you could do a professional move with explosives.
Explosives, I know all about. Okay.
I mean, it's not. You're kind of not really using it as but we'll for fun so that you make emotional complications to make this more interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's a professional skill. How does that work?
You want to roll, or you can choose to roll, or you can add more to the pool. Either way is fine, because you're
I'll roll with rage. I may as well roll with rage, which is what the explosives stat is. So. An 8.
An 8. Space move. My journal has completely disappeared. Shit. I'm just gonna restart.
So it's you succeed with 1 emotional complication from rage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me.
So the rage complications.
Inflict collateral damage.
That sounds about right.
Don't be so hasty, Shade. That could be you.
I realize, yeah.
Okay. Has Veronica got a metal desk? Or a wooden desk? A fairly heavy desk?
Yeah.
I'll toss it the far side of her desk and see if they panic. We're going back through the door.
Yeah, when he does that, I think I have to know what's, I've got a good idea what's about to happen, so I think I'm going to go into a monofilament whip death spin to try and clear that doorway.
So what happens is Veronica is fairly cool under pressure. So she manages to like grab the grenade and toss it away from the desk quite quickly. Maybe with a bit of cybernetic dexterity in there, and dives under her desk. The rest of her entourage are not so quick on their feet and get taken out. But one of you is too slow as well, and you catch just the edge of the blast as it rips rips a wider door in this office.
Okay, I figure I was near the center of the room, so that's probably me.
Yeah. So, for damage purposes, I'm not going to give you a full.
Does my ballistic armor help in any way?
Let's see, damage. For ballistic armor against an explosion, maybe, but limited. So I'm just looking at weapons. 77.
I've no idea how armor works in this. So.
Explosives, fragmentation, for harm, close, near, loud area.
And I've got 3.
Yeah, so you take 1 damage from the blast. Your armor soaks the rest up, but you're sort of from the pressure wave of the explosion. You're tossed against the wall, outside the corridor, and you're knocked prone. Shade, you managed to get out pretty quickly, but you turn around and see this as Watts is knocked to the floor, and back to the other 2 who are still investigating the facility. Watts, I want you to pick an emotion to add 2 on the track, because that's how damage works.
I guess rage might work. It's either going to be rage or ego. Let's go with rage.
Okay.
Do you want me to add it? There we go.
Yeah, because
Did you say 2?
You
1. Okay.
1 damage. 1 damage. So Somerset and Nike both experience this. The pain of what's getting bashed into the wall, and the sort of heat from the blast. You both experience this moment as your is.
I guess the negotiations aren't going too well over there.
They'll figure it out. It's so these
things feels like Watts is figuring it out all right.
What do we do? Can we sneak past them?
Sorry, Rob. Are we at the door, or do we still have drones that could die?
Oh, that's right. We did get up to the door, didn't we?
scouting the path for you. So you're able, you know what the routes are for security. You can stealth past them, timing your movements with the patrol pattern. That will still for you, but to give you let's do advantage, and you can roll an extra die.
Okay. So yeah, I think we can hook into Shade's stealth through Headspace and then sneak past. My fear is +2, so will I just roll? Am I rolling 3 and just taking the top 2, right?
Yeah, 3 and then take the highest 2.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that is a 14 for me.
Jesus.
that third dice was a 1, so.
I got 3 ones.
Oh, wow.
-1 is a 1. I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay. Well,
You could do a regret.
I think with a 14, I think Nike carries you through this. Like maybe you mistime it a bit, and like you're saying, like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go, and then Nike's like, nope, another 5 seconds, and then the drone goes past, and then you continue on your way, and you get to the way that is, you can see it now. It's got like there's some sort of plating on the wall, like sort of metallic plating with some sort of charge going through it. And what's interfered with the drone's ability to pass through, and you can see there in the path the drone is just sort of sparking there in the middle of the floor.
I'll scoop that up. I don't imagine it'll work today, but it's one of the last pieces we have of Whistler, so I'm not going to leave it.
Mm-hmm. You do feel the sort of buzzing from the charge as you scoop it up. So whatever charge is running through this section, it's enough to potentially be harmful to you if you step on.
Exciting. Does it look like it's is it just in the floor? Is it running through all the walls? It is in the air? What's going on?
It's in the floor. It's in the walls. It's in the ceiling. It's like fully, it's like.
So just don't touch any of those. Okay.
Just don't touch any of the physical objects in the area.
Exactly. Let's run real fast.
I was hopeful until he said the ceiling. All right. Well, can we maybe try to hack the security system? Is that an option?
You could, but at least I don't believe the options you have.
No, this would be seat of the pants hacking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Improvised.
So it would be an improvised roll.
I'm willing to try. Can we find a terminal?
Yeah, there's like there's a terminal right next to the the wall before you reach the passageway. Actually, like a security panel to deactivate this so that they can get past it, but it needs some sort of authorization. Looks like biometric, so retina scan.
Well, we're equally terrible at rage, and I have a cybernetic third eye, so why not use that for the retinal scan?
Okay, how does that work?
Very well.
We'll see how it works. Yes, impeccably. You wouldn't even believe how good it works. But yeah, I think with whatever sort of rudimentary hacking skills I have, I'm trying to reconfigure that eye like on the fly to meet the security protocols. See how that goes. Jeez. That's a 4. On a headspace move, succeed but pick 2 emotional complications. On rage.
That's not a headspace move. That was improvised.
No, it's not.
Oh, that was improvised. Yeah,
move.
It's still rage though. Yep, it's just a straight up you decide what happens.
Yeah. So I think what happens is that you attempt to if this security. You manage to disable the electrical that surge, but you also set off an alarm which alerts all of the drones in the area to trying to intrude.
Mm.
So now's when we start running.
Yeah, and hope that they can't follow us.
Or that we can break a door closed. That always helps.
Yeah.
We're good at breaking things.
Well, you've deactivated the panel, the panels in the wall and the floor. So any drones that come after you will be able to pursue you through that now.
Okay, I guess running like shit is the strategy, so.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna take my chances and roll for this. I think.
Hang on, are you rolling rage because it's highest?
Oh, now I'm rolling ego.
Okay.
We're rolling rage because it was highest.
Well, in that case, I'm going to use my 1,000-yard stare from the other side of the city, or wherever we are, to drop the rage track by 2 to let you roll on something better.
Oh, on the parkour though, I'm ego.
Donna can, Nike can just choose to roll.
Okay, cool.
So you're choosing to roll rather than take the extra, or is it? Yeah, okay, so.
And that's a 10 to an 11 with my ego, so yeah, worked out.
Okay. Why don't you describe your escape from these drones, at least for the meantime, for the present?
So I'm kind of they know where we are because we just did the
they know
thing on.
They know somebody has tampered with this security panel, so they're going to head towards that area to see what's going on.
So even though it's not going in the direction we want to go, I am going off slightly away to kind of draw them off if they're doing any kind of sensing, and then doubling back around a corridor. And then what I'm trying to do is find a double door, and I'm leading them into that kind of funnel and kind of shooting back or throwing something back across the room to shut the door behind them, and then shut the door in front of them and just smash the control. So basically, I'm leading them on a circuitous route and trying to just block them in, and it won't block them for long. They'll override the security or something like that, but it'll trap them, keep them out of our way for a little while.
Nice.
Okay. So you manage to do that, and you arrive at a sort of lab complex within this the research facility. There's it actually says geothermal siphon project.
Sounds important. We should go in there.
That sounds dangerous. I mean, kind of reckless.
Okay, so there's a few different rooms in this complex. There's a testing lab. There's a design lab. There's simulation room.
You say simulation room. That sounds fun. If we get a brief overview, we can know what to look into more deeply. Or maybe it'll just tell us everything. You never know. Maybe it'll start it again. That's not good. No, it's definitely not going to do that.
Right. So you come into the simulation room, and there's it's basically filled with server panels. Like, it's a big computer in the room, and in the middle there's like a holographic interface.
So can I move into using something like investigation, or are we going to have to get past a security wall on this?
There's definitely going to be a security access to this computer.
Do you think it's possible that from my days of driving Nemo around, the 3H executive, he might have absent-mindedly given a voice code over the phone that I can remember and just feed through to get his authorization to get in?
That could be like a contingency thing, or do you have another move?
No, contingency sounds like...
Contingency is what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Which is ego, so I'll give that a roll. 4.
You're rolling well today.
I am rolling. Well, it's a mix.
Oh no, the other 4 was okay.
Yeah. Can I try bumping that to a 10 by revealing my regret?
Yes.
Sure.
So, and this kind of actually bleeds nicely into the way I would have gotten Nemo's code. You probably get a flashback of Nike in a helicopter flying over the ocean at night. Nemo's in the back, and you hear him kind of maybe leaving himself a memo about this project. And on the hood, Nike sees like an incoming call from Marita, who you probably know is her grandmother, and she just kind of swats it aside. She's busy, she's working, and then essentially the next thing Vancouver knows, the tsunami has hit. and she doesn't see her grandmother again for quite a while till Shade drops in. But there's that lingering regret that who knows what that call was about, and that's Nike's kind of redemption drive, is to see if she can rekindle that connection or get her grandmother to forgive her for passing on the call.
Okay.
Nice.
So you boot up the computer, and it has like a history of different versions of the simulation as they improved in the process. And what you see in the basically, I'm actually not terribly clear myself on how geothermal energy works. I mean, but you see, like there's a drill of some sort, like, and they've got a marked area in the ocean near the near the city, which has like a very hot spot there, like basically a rich source of energy that they intended to use this process on, and the latest simulation had it's going to stop ringing in a minute. Yeah, okay. Right. So the latest simulation, they had flagged a potential danger for cracking this energy reservoir, causing a tectonic event that could produce a tsunami or some similar catastrophe. And basically, higher management just discarded it. They ignored the warning and went ahead with the test anyway.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, then we need to find the evidence. If there's physical files, we need those. If there's some like server that we need to get into or other computer where we can get digital access, we need to find where all this is, like the simulation and the information about the board being presented with it and turning it down, and any information from the actual firing off of the first time they did it.
So yeah, there's like server trays in here with different storage devices mounted. They're not going to store all that sort of information in the cloud. That's just asking for trouble.
Then yeah, we need to figure out which ones we need to take and get them out of here and do it quick, because security alarms and drones and whatnot.
Listen, you rolled a 10 and you used your regret to get a 10 in the contingency. So let's say that the server, the different drives are with date stamps on them. So you're able to identify the most recent one that would correspond with the most up-to-date simulation and the correspondence with management.
Is there any way you can upload those to Whistler rather than trying to take them out? That way nobody can take them off you.
It'd be a decent backup. Can we figure out a way to upload that information to our remaining two iDrones? That way we have them and the physical copy to try and get out with.
Give me a drones roll.
Sphere. All right. It's a 6. But that is a headspace move at least.
Okay, so just take 2 emotional complications and it succeeds.
Let's see. These fear ones are weird. So, you hesitate when it matters most. Seems like it could fit in. And, you overestimate the danger? I'm still sort of unclear how that looks.
Overestimate the danger is basically out of fear of a worse outcome. Your fear of the danger pushes you to do something that it does not. It puts you in a worse position.
Yeah, I guess those 2.
Okay.
Not sure quite how that looks. Maybe I just obsess over getting the transfer finished and we wait too long or something.
Yeah. Okay. So, you basically tell me how it manifests the complication. So is that what you're saying? You take too long, worried about like corrupting the data, and hesitating when it matters most because there's drones coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe some sort of like further security that's been alerted by the alarm.
The most security that's going to be in this complex right now is automated because like it's been evacuated. So yeah, the drones. You take too long trying to like get this right, and by the time you've got the information, the data uploaded, backed up onto one of Whistler's drones. And you've got the hard drive, which you put in your satchel or whatever you're carrying with you. But by the time you've done all that, you hear the of the drones arriving in the lab area. And I think that's where we're going to skip back to Watts and Shade. So you guys are just recovering from this explosion. You don't see any movement from inside the office.
Okay.
All right.
Where is this office in the building?
I think it was. I think we established it was quite close to the ground level. So to make it easier to access the office area. So you're on the ground floor right now.
Okay.
Close to the entry hall.
I'm going to kind of reach down and just move across my face, and we'll see like my features shift to where I look like Veronica Colt, and kind of make a motion around my cloak so that, pull it over the top and it looks like her hair coming down and her outfit. And I'll pull out my gun. Say, come on, Watts. It's time for us to get out of here.
Okay, I'll move ahead of Veronica. Arms slightly raised just in case anybody spots us. And head towards the near stairs. Stairs are always safer.
Okay. So you head to the stairs. You reach the lobby, and there's there's guards. Well, on your way to the lobby, there's guards rushing to investigate the explosion that just occurred, and they come upon you too.
I've got this one. You need to get back there. There's another one still in the office. The men are holding him up. Quick, move.
Okay. Sounds like some sort of role should be required here.
I'd love for me to be keying off their security standards so that I get that. But if not, I guess coax is probably the unfortunate thing it'd have to be.
I would have said that was tactics.
Oh, might be.
No, we actually have tactics, which is useful.
We do.
I mean, this is something that the infiltrator is supposed to be able to do themselves, actually. So I'm sure it must be on your skill set.
Sound like security then?
Stealth, potentially.
Stealth, possibly. Somebody.
I mean, that's part of your standard gear, isn't it? The potato head.
Right.
So.
What you feel like?
Infiltrator.
And like I say, I was kind of hoping on security that I was able to, give that right inflection, that sort of thing, to keep them moving without thinking as quickly on it.
Stealth is a skill for blending in, for maintaining a cover. Maintaining a cover is getting lost in a crowd.
Stealth.
Yeah.
All right.
Trespassing in high security areas, imitating. Yeah, it's stealth.
All righty. Let's see how we do. Well, I got a 5, so it sounds like I'm going to have to pull my regret in because I'd really like to succeed with this one.
So you're the infiltrator though, so you didn't need to roll really.
Oh, okay. I can do it as a
you can if you choose do it as a professional move, and then you just add 1 to the stress track for the baggage.
Okay. All right, can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will. Then that's what I'll do. Is I just kind of quick go move, sending them off, and so I'll add 2. That works off of my fear.
Right. So I'm putting fear to 2 now.
Okay.
I think I've got sync marked as being 1, but I think you guys spent the sync last session.
Nike just did her regret, so we're in sync again.
Oh yeah, sure, that makes sense. All right, and in that case, you don't need to use that again. You don't need to use. You don't need to add 1 next time. It's just the first time you use a professional move, and then after that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Right. So they're convinced, and they just nod and run on past you, and you guys are free to keep moving. There's still the people on the bridge, and everything between here and where you need to go, but you get past that one.
All right. As we've got a second. All right, Watts, what you think? Are we going to fight our way out or try and get around them?
I reckon there's a good chance there's a copter on the roof, to be quite honest. Let's head up. They're going to have the lobby filled with, Okay, we'll head for the roof.
Okay. So are you using the elevator in this?
We were using stairs, weren't we?
Yeah, but
this is a big building, so
but I've got a good idea what they're going to be doing to search for us. That's tactics. That's basic tactics.
Okay.
So work out what their search parameters are going to be like and avoid them.
All right. So you're going to give me a
professional skill.
Roll. Yep.
It's a professional skill, so I'll just go off the professional skill.
All right. So again, first time you use the professional skill, you can
add 1 to ego.
+1. Yep. And then after that,
cool.
You're fine.
Okay.
All right. So you're able to circumvent all the patrols between here and the roof, and rooftop, where there is like a helipad on the rooftop. Actually, would it be called a helipad? You know, some sort of pad for like generally for VTOLs or Aerodynes, the sort of more futuristic aircraft.
Landing pad.
Yeah, landing pad.
Aero pad.
Or aero pad, sure.
Okay, is there anyone in it?
Right now, I'm gonna do what we call in Blaze in the Dark a fortune roll.
Yeah.
Was bad for me. So, yeah, there's actually a VTOL craft already on the pad as you arrive.
Okay, let's get in it.
Yeah. Nike, how do we start this thing?
I'll leap in the pilot seat. Hope Nike can guide us.
Well, Nike is problems.
But the Lockheed V51 has a really straightforward. It's like a start button, right? It's built for executive transport.
So look, pilot is off rage. Let's give this a go.
Yeah.
An 11.
You do it. All right. So with the help of Nike's knowledge of these things, not so much Nike herself, because Nike, you can sense that Nike is a little bit stressed right now.
Do I feel that Nike could do with an extraction? We've got a VTOL.
I don't know, Nike. How do you feel about that?
I certainly don't want to be where I am right now.
Right.
Let's leave more quickly.
Is the data upload done? Yes. Come on, server.
Yes, they need they need an extraction.
Yeah. Okay. We've got the VTOL.
All right. So back to Nike and Somerset. Yeah, so you hear these drones starting to patrol the corridor outside where you are.
And is there any other way out, or is this kind of a a cul-de-sac, as it were?
It's a very enclosed room.
The secure facility or whatever.
Yeah.
One way in. Okay. I guess we could shoot our way out. Right. I've got a machine pistol.
I've got a gun. Yeah, sure. We could take him.
I mean, I'm not so sure. Wrong? My grief is -1, and that's what the firearms is on. But I believe I can take him.
Well, If you let me lead, I might be able to help you with that, since we're in sync.
Yeah, cool. Or do you just want the submachine gun?
No, I have my pistol. It's I'm used to it. I fired it at least 5 times, so I wouldn't even know how to use yours.
Spray and pray.
So yeah, I guess my sort of plan is I'll take the lead. Strangely, trying to channel as much of Watts as I can, and fire. And after I roll, I can spread a little chemical love through the headspace and drop our grief down. So since we're in sync, if it's at 0, you can make it as a professional move to follow me rather than a headspace move.
Nice. I mean, fictionally, how about you lead the way and I just cover our rear with the mass of rounds down the corridor.
Nice. So this is obviously going to go great. That's an 8, though.
All right, 1 emotional complication.
And this is grief. Yeah, I put myself in harm's way. I said I'd take the lead, and I'm not willing to let Nike take a shot, so I actually spin her out of the way and get in the line of some of the fire at one point.
Okay. So there are 6 of these drones. You're going to be able to take out about half of them in as you make a running, a fighting retreat from this area. But in the process, you see one of them is like laser, focusing its laser sight on Nike, and Nike's not going to be able to get out of the way in time, so you get in the way and you take let's say 3 harm.
Well, luckily my cyber skin at least gives me 1 armor, so it's down to 2. I'll put him into grief as
No. You, I think it's like one of us picks once, and then the other picks the rest. I think it's
okay.
the GM. The GM picks the first hit, actually.
Gotcha.
So,
sorry, you would let Watts just put it into wherever.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste time reading. So I'll say put it in grief. Because I think I was like motivated by an urge, not to lose anybody else.
And then is that the first one, or both of them, or what?
Well, I picked the first one, and then you get to pick the other one.
I do still think it would be interesting to see one of these go over at some point, so I'll put one in rage. And then as I get shot and sort of over and struggle through it as we keep running forward, I think that's when my cybernetics will go ahead and auto-release some painkillers into my system. And I'm going to use my once per session to drop grief down to 0, so that if Nike has to do some firearms to follow up, it can be a professional move.
Okay.
Cool.
So did you choose on the... Yeah. So Rage is pretty close to causing feedback. But yeah, you managed to get out of the room and make your escape from these drones, which are hot in your tail, but you've survived the encounter for now.
Are we in a position to go up to the rooftop?
I think much like Watts, you're going to need to make a tactics roll to figure out, like the best way to avoid any other security drones.
Okay.
Unless you've got another idea, like
tactics is off you go.
No, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. I will give it a go. I've got +1 ego.
Nice. Oh, nice.
So yeah, like I'm sure I've gone through the drill with Watts on occasion, and he never really thought I was paying attention. But I was, doors and corners, and never take the elevator. And in no circumstances they lock that shit down, and the next time it opens, you'll get a grenade in there.
Well, yeah, that's a way to do it. But think about the fact, like it's actually Watts is in the headspace with you, so he can be like, he's on the chopper, but he can be like directing you through the link.
Yeah.
Like saying, okay, I don't know if you've seen Sense8 at all, but it could be like you see like what's physically running with you, and they're like like this way, that way, wait 5 seconds, and then you guys reach the roof, and meanwhile, so I don't think the VTOL that you've stolen is the only like aircraft they have at their disposal. Sad to say. So you hear like you actually they've got like a radar type device on the in the cockpit, which picks up another blip coming towards you. Friendly as far as your IFF is concerned, but
friendly according to our that means unfriendly according to us. How far from the roof are we? Is there any chance of landing before this thing gets to us?
If you're very very quick and efficient about it, yes. Like you just
before I do
you don't land, you just let them come to you, sort of thing. Like you open it just enough above the pin, and then.
Is this VTOL armed?
Yeah.
It will be armed, yeah.
And I'll probably move back to whatever weapon it has, unless it's missiles off the pilot.
I think it has like a separate gunner position. Sure, yeah.
Cool.
All right. I'll slide into it and try and cover us if we need it.
I'm going to use the 1,000-yard stare to drop our fear track before we get into this. So,
okay.
Bring our fear track down a few. Cool.
How did rage drop?
That was me. Sorry, rage track. Sorry, I dropped the rage track.
Oh,
sorry,
gotcha.
Rage track, yeah.
Oh
no, it's fear I can drop, not rage. Oh, put fear down.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, dropped the wrong track. Put the rage back up. And the fear down. Our rage is kind of high. Okay.
All right, set us in close. Then I guess let's grab them.
Oh no. You want them firing to the sun so they can't actually see. Let's get let's get the sun the far side of us. Assuming that my tactics say that's the thing to do.
Sure.
If my tactics say something else, I'll do something else. But
no, that's a sound suggestion. So you position yourself so that the sun will be in the eyes of the other pilots, and it'll be harder for them to get a visual lock on you.
Cool.
So they're arriving and trying to get a clear shot on you, but the gunner's having some difficulty. Meanwhile, Nike and Somerset, you guys burst out onto the roof with, there's still, you can still hear the whirring sound of drones, rotors as they're gaining on you. So you're going to have to make a run for the open back end of the Speedhall. So
parkour?
Yeah, that sounds like a parkour to me.
Okay. So that
All
is
right.
on ego. I think we might be better off rolling on this. Our ego is getting high as well.
So I got a 6.
I got a 6 as well. My ego is 1.
We're good at stuff.
We are good at stuff.
So between the two of you, that's 4 emotional complications to each.
Do you want to pick one first?
Yeah, my false pride puts the team at risk. I'm so sure that this thing's right here, and we're gonna jet it out of here that I don't even bother to like close her.
Like Nike, why? Because this is your professional move.
Okay. Sorry, do you want to say that again? You broke up for a second.
Nike, why did you roll? Because this is your professional move, so and you don't even need to add to the stress track at this point.
Because the stress track was at 3. So
no, but you don't need to add to the stress track because you have sync.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that was the rule. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just don't need to roll. I just say I do it, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that I got a free pass on this for when we were in sync.
I'm so sure that we're gonna make it. I don't like close or latch the door behind us, so it's just like wide open as these drones come flying out after us. Okay. I'll slow us down further. I refuse needed assistance, even though it's clear that I'm not gonna make this jump onto the thing in time. Like, no, I can make it. And you have to sort of stall your takeoff for a moment. I'll get it on the second time.
How about our situation is so perilous that I am like running and I take a leap up onto the perimeter fence on the rooftop and leap for the down ramp of the aerodyne, and then I leave my trailing arm behind, and you're supposed to grab it, and then you just, like you said, you miss that opportunity, and then we're away, and my momentum draws me away, and you've got to go around again, to pick you up.
Yeah. I'm left sort of crouching on the top of the fence, like, it just come back around. I'll catch it this time.
Or no, run to the opposite side. We'll pick you up there.
So I think the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to take free harm as the one of the drones comes out from the doorway and gets a lock on you, gets a heat lock on you and opens fire.
Ow! I'll knock that down to 2.
All right, so I think does that make you feel? What do you think? I kind of want to put it in rage.
I mean, I wouldn't
rage and ego.
I wouldn't advocate that at all, but I can't say it doesn't make sense.
Actually, no, ego does make sense as well because you're right. Refusing needed assistance. It's like, no, I can do it. I can do it. So let's put it in ego.
So you're gonna make me choose whether to put it in rage or not. Sure, why not? I'll put it in rage. That sounds fun.
Well, you reduced it by 2, and so there was only 1 harm, and I
reduced it to 2. I had 1 armor.
Ah, okay. So this means we get feedback. Let me just see if the reference has a quick guide on feedback.
I think it's just you can spend up to all 4 of them to do emotional complications from rage.
I can spend them any number of them to force you guys to take an emotional complication. Points from the stress track to cause emotional complications. So I'm going to so there's 4 of you. So and I have I can spend a max of 4. So 4 of you are going to take all 4 of you are going to take 1 emotional complication.
And that emotional complication is off
rage. Yeah, off rage.
Okay, let's have a look at what rage is.
Well, I'll go first if nobody minds. I think I'm going to ignore something obvious in that we have this other ship coming in at us, but I've just seen my comrade getting shot, so I'm going to swing the gun around and shoot the drones instead, and just ignore the fact that we've got an enemy ship coming in at us.
Mm-hmm.
How's that sound for a complication there?
Yeah, that sounds all right.
All right, and if that would be a firearms and to fire at them, and I think we're at 0 on what we use for that. Yes. Does that mean I could just take it as a professional?
Yeah.
I will do so. It is the first time I've used the skill, so I'll add 1 to the track as I unload on those drones.
Okay. So Shade spent 1.
I'm hanging from a ramp, so I'm not sure I can inflict collateral damage or use excessive force, provoking a new conflict. I don't know. Here I am hanging in this out of control aerodyne, and the gunner has turned away from the aerodyne that's going to kill us. And I'm going, well, I'm gonna do a quick dial on Peter Nemo and tell him that we have the dirt on him and he's going to live to regret every decision he made.
Okay. Right.
That's a complication, right?
So yeah, that call goes through. You get his voicemail, but I'm sure he'll get the message.
So I think yeah, those drones, whether there's more behind them or I see like one that Shade missed, I think I'm gonna go with you use excessive force, and I take that like damage shorted out iBot that I was going to take back and we were going to fix and get it back into serviceable condition, and I think there's like a self-destruct code that that Whistler showed us how to use on them, and so instead I'm going to try and use it as a bomb to like collapse that stairway or the door, and we're gonna like permanently lose one of those bits of Whistler.
Okay. And I think there was one more.
Yeah, I may as well take the one that nobody's taken, just to fill the set. So I will inflict collateral damage. I'm gonna. There's this other VTOL over there, and at this point I'm absolutely fuming. So I'm going to kick the afterburners in, completely forget about the jet wash. I've just got this image of sort of, maybe a couple of farmers' trucks or something nearby, which are going to get caught in that jet wash and washed away. Who knows where to, or what they're going to do as they fly along the ground. But basically just kick the afterburners in at about 10 feet off the ground.
Okay. And all that happens, the drones are converging on you, Somerset, as you're still stuck in the rooftop. What do you do? What does anybody do at this point?
If you want to get Somerset, you'll have to be fast, since I've just kicked the afterburners in.
Ooh.
Yeah, hopefully there aren't many drones left, though. We've blown them up with a self-destructing machine gun.
That's true. Okay, so you've taken out the drones, but so yeah, you've still got this other VTOL to deal with. Somerset's still on the roof, and you can't leave without him.
Is it possible for me to go back down to the rooftop together?
Would you be better piloting this thing?
As I hold on to the ramp, legs just about avoiding the
I think by this point,
Shade, pull them in, Shade.
I think by this point you've managed to like drag yourself on board.
Okay.
or hopefully somebody
the person who knows what to do with them.
Or I don't know, is there another weapon we can use to train on the intercepting aerodyna?
Why don't you use your professional skill or as a pilot or roll. I think at this point you can just do the professional move.
Oh, because our rage is down to 0, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll go professional on pilot and try to take out that intercepting aerodyne.
Can I take over the gun position?
Yep. So
So maybe it's something like I take over piloting and I make it chase us into a situation where you have a dead-eye shot on it.
And I'll use my professional skill on firearms. Our grief is at 0, so that's...
And in hopes that we're going to be able to swing back around to grab Somerset, I'm going to have reached into my security kit, into my infiltration kit, to brought out a rope to hopefully drag out so she can grab a hold.
It's amazing how much better we are when we all do what we're meant to do.
I will heroically wait and try not to catch fire.
Right. So you kind of why don't you describe this maneuver, like how you lead the other ship, the other VTOL into the strap.
So I think what we do is we drop the craft down to, I think you were already hitting the close to the waves or the ground. So I just fly underneath one of the bridges, connecting the subarcologies, and then come back up around us to where I know he's not going to make that terribly risky maneuver, and he's going to go up above the bridge, and we're just going to float up above the span and take him out head on.
Yep. And there's just like this moment of where we see the other VTOL flying towards the the top, over the top of the bridge, and your ship just like comes out from underneath, points right at them, and they're like, oh shit, and then you fire through it with a sort of laser cannon, which blows it up. It rains a bunch of stuff over the bridge, but nothing terribly obstructive. And you're free to go back and get Somerset.
Cool.
Yeah, there's like there is fire all over the rooftop.
Please hurry. There's very few places left to stand.
Grab hold.
Oh god, this is like gym class.
Just hang on, I'll pull you.
All right, I don't think I need to make you roll for that. So you grab onto the rope, and they pull you up, and you're extracted from the burning rooftop of the facility, and you get on board. And where are you heading with the VTOL now that you've done all that? What's your next move?
I'll look around and say, I think that went really well.
I could argue that the negotiations could have gone better.
Yeah, you could argue that. Are you going to?
Sort of pat out some smoldering hem of my flowing robes there. No, not right now. Well, we've got something good on 3H. We may have struck out with Trauma 1, but that just may mean we need to step up our game there. I have some money saved up. If we could equip them out with like the best cameras. We could get them a secure broadcast server so that they could start their own channels and they couldn't be stopped. Like, if we got them the resources, we could really set them up to start working against Trauma 1 on their own.
Let's review what we've actually got. Let's find somewhere safe to view it.
Yeah. We heading back to, does somebody have a hidey hole?
Somebody did have a hidey hole near the river.
Yep, Nike.
The safe house.
Yeah, there is the you have the place near the river.
Although I'd love to ditch this Trauma 1 vehicle before we go anywhere near it, because we're gonna be able to track it. So
I mean, you have your own aerodyne, remember?
Yeah. So we land and get picked up, or just walk or something like that, something to get to the safe house without blowing our cover.
Nice.
Okay. So once you arrive back at your safe house, what do you do?
I think we're looking over the evidence real quick to give see if we got damaging enough.
Digging through those servers.
You've got the simulation stating what they were trying to do and the possible complication that was flagged by the researchers during the simulation, and you've got the memo from management saying proceed regardless. Warning. The risk was considered negligible. Like it was a very slim percentage of it, probability that this accident would occur, but it was still there.
And it did occur.
Yeah.
Well, I think we might have burned our bridges with trauma. I don't know if we can buy them off with this.
I wouldn't trust it in corp hands anyways. We should just put it out there.
I mean, we told them we had it, and it was just like a slight time difference, and they didn't want it. So, screw them and their competitive advantage.
I tend to agree. Probably just release it.
Oh. Can we claim this is the first half? We've got dirt on you. We're going to release half of it. If you don't back down, we're going to release the other half. But we'll release the lot. We just claim there's more.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure this information would be enough to tear 3H apart, at least for the foreseeable future.
Because one of their main goals is to destroy this evidence. So if we tell them we have it and try to cut a deal, we're going to have to be really, really careful to get away without them trying to bug stomp us, right?
Let's just release it.
I think so.
Okay. So how are you gonna do that?
We've got a reporter girl.
Yeah, but if we tie this too much into those refugees and what's going on there, they'd make a really easy retaliation for, pissed off 3H executives.
Yeah. I don't know how much. I've got my guild that that spreads information. I could send it to them. They get it out.
Yeah, that's more diffused at least.
And kind of gets around the situation that the core might try to, paint this reporter as an interested party or someone who doesn't have a lot of credibility or whatever, if it comes from multiple sources.
Yeah.
And the best sort of other option is trying to channel this through applied optimism, and we don't know what sort of deal is going to go on there or what sort of twist they're going to put on it.
Yeah, they might just bury it.
What's the modern equivalent of WikiLeaks?
For the local area, essentially, it would be. I mean, there's the Vancouver Free Press, which Brandy Brodeur, your reporter friend, works for.
Yeah, but they've got an office that the corpse can find easily. Is there anything sort of international, anything worldwide that would work?
I don't know. Is there? I'm assuming the answer would probably be yes, but who are they?
Yeah.
Again, like I say, I have a guild of information brokers.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Do they have a name? Do they have a representative that you talk to?
Yeah, I had to find it down, but you can call him. I'll put down Team Tig Osborne. I like that name. Who's my contact? Okay. So should I give him a call and just start spreading it through the network through them? They can certainly give it to any number of reporters. That's probably who they deal with. Sound good, team?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then I'll give a yell to him and Pig, I've got unbelievable information. It is going to blow the fucking lid off of 3H, buddy. And I'm willing to give it to you for like a tiny, tiny little premium, buddy. Just a tiny little kickback to me. Maybe a favor in the future, bud. Not even cash. You know I don't need cash.
Why is it?
And I'll go ahead and send a little taste over to him. It was 3H. They caused the whole tsunami. It was their fault.
Yeah, man, I can get this. I can get this on the webs. Make life pretty difficult for them.
That's my boy.
Just send it my way.
All right, I'll send a copy over to him.
Okay, so you send the information to the data to Tig, and then over the next few days, like there's like video online. People were reading. We see a montage of people reading. Watching the video on their phone or on a screen in their home, where basically somebody in a mask, sort of anonymous style, is like addressing the viewers and then laying out this evidence from the simulation and the memo, and explaining just what 3H did and what their part was in the tsunami. And there's we see in the montage we see more like news reports from Applied Optimism, like interviews with 3H officials who deny knowledge, but 3H is having a pretty hard time PR wise, and they're forced to they are forced to stop to reclaim the facility. In doing so, though, this leaves this leaves Trauma 1 free to strengthen their hold on the island. Like they Trauma One actually put out a statement saying that they are establishing a presence on the archaeology. They're having discovered a group of refugees squatting in the ruins of one of the facilities, and they are going to establish base camp there to provide aid and assistance to those on the island.
We got to do something about that.
I mean, as long as we can force their hand into playing nice there, that sort of meets with our goals. Like I said, I have a bunch of money stockpiled, and we can get them the very best broadcasting equipment to show that, hey, we're here and we're rebuilding with Trauma One, and they're being nice to us because they're on camera all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So again, I don't want to launch into another job at this point because it's like 9:30 and we need to finish about 10.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we do like an epilogue sort of thing where each of you gives me like a brief narration of what comes next and your part in it.
Well, I can go ahead and start with that idea. So, yeah, I had over the course of this built up 5 credits, which seems like a lot in this system. So I'm gonna spend that, and basically the next time that like smuggler's boat of food comes into the refugees there, which is probably going to be one of the last times if they start getting actual aid from Trauma One, who knows? But I'm there with them, with that guy, and there's crates of equipment with me, and so I go and I meet with Brandy and the refugees, and we crack open the crates, and I think what they are is like they're this we've had machined a whole set of duplicates of those eye drones, Whistler's eye drones, that are programmed to like follow these people around and record them. And I think by this point, Brandy has chosen out a couple of the at least passably charismatic people to do a lot of the talking on camera and looking nice for the public. And so, yeah, just sort of mine ends in a montage of us like figuring out how to set this up and get them started, and just a little ticker of viewers going up bit by bit as people start to watch some of this.
Cool.
All right.
Who wants to go next?
I got something. I think in the PR hubbub, we see Nemo on TV being cornered by a reporter, maybe our own friend, and he is not a happy camper. And Maggie is sitting on the couch in her sprawl safe house eating popcorn. But then I think we see Nemo's attempted revenge. The security monitors go off. He's mustered a black ops team to go hunt Maggie down, but they haven't reckoned with Watt's claymores set up around the perimeter, and she beats a path out to the aerodyne to escape, to remain a thorn in Nemo's side for a while.
Excellent.
Okay, I reckon that Watts has figured out by this point that at some point they're going to double cross us and they're going to try and take out the refugees. So I've got this image of Watts working out very carefully where any sort of assault is going to come from, and setting up sensors, and he's very tempted to place explosives, but okay, cameras will work. And I've got this image of late one night, various commandos working for Trauma 1, sneaking into the camp, at which point suddenly floodlights light the area, and it all starts being transmitted. And I can imagine Trauma 1 backing out of there very quietly, deciding that it probably wasn't the right thing trying to double cross us. At which point Watts will go back in and move the cameras and the floodlights, work out where they're likely to do the next assault and set them up there. And hopefully Trauma 1 won't try to double cross us quite so quickly the second time or the third time.
All right, and I guess I'll epilogue out with me actually doing what I'm better at than negotiating. I am. You see, I've worked my way into one of the offices for Trauma 1, and make my way to one of their PR office complex, and I move in, and you see me put in a cassette, not a cassette, but a information storage unit into their transmissions, and we start seeing popping up on people's screens and across the television broadcasts, Trauma 1 announcing that they're going to be providing a brand new and state-of-the-art homeless shelter and facility here in the Arcology, allowing for these fine refugees the opportunity to rehabilitate themselves. And, this nice big broadcast that we see in the boardrooms of Trauma 1. Who the hell approved this? Where did this come from? As the word gets out.
All right. And I think following on from that, we see a few, sometime after this broadcast has gone out, Trauma 1 doing just that, because, the word has been put out there and they can't be seen to, go back in that. Why wouldn't they? So we see Trauma 1 agents handing out supplies and rations to these people with sort of suffering expressions on their faces. And then the camera pans up and angles down towards the islands and pulls back up into a satellite view, which turns back into the sort of electronic display version that we saw at the very start of the movie, which then winks out, and the credits roll.
Lovely.
Nice.
Very nice.
Neat.
All right. And that was Headspace.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was neat. It's a cool system.
Mm-hmm. I felt like we sort of started to get it a little better here by the end, and the action scenes actually started moving and rolling along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a shame it took more than a session before we began to feel the system.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the problem is with a lot of games, you need a few sessions to get the feel for things if it's a new game. So,
yeah.
I think it started to sing a little better when we got that idea of, okay, we're always sort of in contact with each other. When we were able to play off each other, that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that idea of the playing out always sitting inside each other's heads.
Our snark does not respect any physical distance.
It's you can actually legitimately metagame, that is specifically allowed by the setup for you to have player knowledge become character knowledge because you're all sharing this telepathic link with each other.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of setup for the game that plays really well for the long run, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, kind of trimming it down, I think for short runs could be helpful.
Yeah.
Because we ended up with a lot of NPCs that we just didn't touch on, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it really made the whole thing rich to have all of it there. I thought that was really cool.
Like, if I wish I could have done a bit more with the not the anchors, the ghost operators. Like I had them occasionally like jump in with like commentary and stuff, but like maybe like in your downtime, if we had more time, I could have like stretched things out and had you have downtime, and maybe they drop in and have like a conversation with you or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it hurt us not having a handler in the group, having the handler as one of the the NPCs, because all the social skills seem to be the handler.
That is definitely true.
We have no social knowledge at all in the group.
It's like you picked contingency and not Cokes, so sorry.
It is kind of strange.
We got good
that
value
it
out
is.
of contingency, you know.
It is sort of strange that Cokes is really about the only social skill in the thing.
The psychology, but
well, yeah, psychology as well, and stealth. Stealth apparently sort of applies.
Yeah, I guess it's the fast talking element is stealth too, isn't it?
Well, passing as someone else is stealth, so
yeah.
So imitation.
Yeah, it's neat though. There's a lot of cool things to this,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fun. The adventure you put together was really pretty fun.
Yeah.
I wish I got to kill somebody.
I mean, you didn't, but actually, well, Watts did.
Yeah, we killed some folks.
there was at least 3 people in that room who are not getting back up again.
Yeah, and there's a guy with the grenade launcher from the first session. Sorry, the rocket launcher from the first session.
That guy too.
Yeah, there were quite a few in the first session.
I killed some drones.
You did. We didn't play with our regrets as often as it would have been neat to hear us all get our regrets out.
Yeah.
You almost feel like hanging on to them, but I guess the idea would be you'd be churning through them in a longer, if you're playing in a campaign set.
Well, no, the idea is like you can reveal your regret, and then in a longer campaign, you come up with another regret.
Right.
Like this isn't the only bad thing you did when you were working for the corporation. It's just the one that you're thinking about right now.
Yeah. I like the emotional baggage. That's watching it go up. I'm glad we got one feedback out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Well, cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop the broadcast now. So, bye, everybody on the internet.